Bharti, come up with price wars and increased competition. That seems to be the agenda when we talk about telecom companies, getting most of them in a tizzy. We have Smita Bhattacharya now joining us to give us the details. Smita, Bharti has launched a 1 paise per second tariff plan. Tell us, what does that really mean? Because just a while back the management was talking against irrational price wars, and now they announce a price cut themselves.
That's right, Shabani, and just in a matter of few hours, because last time Akhil Gupta said they will not participate in an all-out price war. They will not take part in what they call irrational pricing. And here we have news of Bharti Airtel announcing that they are introducing a 1 paise per second tariff. So it is contradictory, but if you look at the numbers, there are actually two causes of concern over here. First being eroding profitability. Now currently Bharti Airtel has a rate per minute, revenue per minute of close to 56 paise and a cost per minute of 36 paise. So there is a considerable spread which allows profitability to happen. Now, according to analysts, if you introduce a 1 paise per second tariff, your rate per minute comes down to close to 39 or 40 paise. So you can see what kind of how the profitability spread will contract significantly from 56 to 39 or 40. So the spread reduces considerably. So profitability squeeze is a major concern. Secondly, also market reaction, because I spoke to a few analysts on this, and what they say is that although they were expecting Bharti Airtel to join the the tariff war, but they were expecting a more cautious, more staggered response perhaps, and they were expecting stability to return in the tariff scenario in a couple of months. But they were really surprised by this, and that means that there would be faster than expected profitability erosion, and they would have to inculcate that in their price targets and estimates. So subsequently we can see a couple of more downgrades coming in after the news has come in. So altogether everybody agrees, everybody we spoke to agree that the whole industry is seeing a lot of profitability squeeze, a lot of erosion in their operational metrics, and this could continue for a few quarters also.
Thanks so much for giving those details, Smita. So clearly you mentioned the stock was down over 6% in today's session, falling below the 300 mark, and going forward you may just see revised downgrades coming in from brokerages. That's the take coming in, because the price war has surely surprised the analyst fraternity, and all this coming on a day when the company really announced their numbers going forward. They were reiterating the fact that they didn't want to get into the price war that we saw coming in, but that's not what really happened. Going forward we'll have to figure out how the stock really fared, but at a time when there's no MTN and increased competition, what is really going to be the road ahead for the company? Let's find out. Sandeep Kurilmurthy has all the details.
It's a war that will leave nobody untouched, not even India's biggest telecom company, Bharti Airtel. As the management admits for the first time that growth in the near term will take a hit because of the competitive intensity in the market.
There is no doubt that we could face some temporary adverse effects in terms of our revenue or some absolute profit growth, but in terms of the long term we are absolutely convinced that we will emerge stronger.
The early signs are already visible. The September quarter saw profits slip 8% to a little over 2320 crores. Revenues too dipped marginally, but EBITDA margins were at a healthy 42%. While the numbers were largely in line with estimates, the operational metrics weren't quite in line. Average revenue per subscriber was down 9%, average revenue per minute down 4%, and minutes of use per subscriber down 6%. So for how long will Bharti continue to face the heat from this increased competitive intensity?
So a lot would depend on that. It may be premature at this point to say exactly what is short term, but let's say a couple of quarters is what could look like it.
2 to 3 quarters is also how long the company believes it will take for revenues from 3G to kick in. The company says it will fund the 3G spectrum auctions by using cash on its books.
We have already said that we believe by next Diwali, 2010 Diwali, before that we should be able to launch services if auction goes as per schedule, if spectrum allocation happens as per schedule.
So, has the prospect of 3G in India and the increased competition in the market killed the company's appetite for an acquisition? No, says the management. But the company says there's nothing on the table just yet. So, does that rule out the possibility of a deal with Kuwaiti telecom giant Zain, whose African operations are on the block?
If an opportunity about Zain comes, we will certainly look at it. But all I'm saying is that there is nothing in the horizon at this point today. But I'm not saying we are not interested in it or we would not look at it. But there's nothing on the horizon today. That's all I'm saying.
So what's on the horizon? Well, looks like more competition, lower tariffs and strained operators. Sandeep Gurumurthy, ET Now, New Delhi.